Hi there, my name is Toby, and on this channel I'm talking about body dynamics and a new understanding of chi energy, how the chi actually works. And these two things are very closely connected. We need to improve our body dynamics in order to improve our chi, the flow of energy in our body. And in this video I want to talk about my world, because it's occurred to me in recent years that I live on a different planet to most people. And my planet is much better. So I want to invite you to come and live with me on my planet. So what do I mean by that? It's the same planet, but I've got a completely different understanding of it and a completely different understanding of the laws of the universe. You live on a particular planet with particular laws of the universe that you've been told. Mine is different. My planet is completely different with completely different laws of physics. Now that's a big thing to say, and I've hinted at it in some other videos there, but I'm talking about field theory. I'm talking about Tesla's physics. It's a very different idea of how the universe works. The science we've been given is more materialistic, based on atoms, and it's just not quite right. Tesla's science is much closer to reality, and I'll have to go through this in detail. I'm going to do some lectures on this step by step and teach you this science, so you'll understand. But when you get this science, it's completely different. It's more holistic, and you'll have a different attitude to life and the universe. But let's just talk about the planet. You see, you guys living on a planet, you've been told you're living on planet Earth, and planet Earth is dying. It's sick. It's polluted. You've polluted it now. You've used up all its resources. It's running out of everything. There's scarcity. There's not enough water. There's not enough oil. There's not enough gas. Now we've not even got enough air. We've got too much carbon dioxide. You guys are all breathing too much. You better stop breathing, because you're breathing out too much carbon dioxide. That's killing the planet. So you guys are living on this terribly sad, sick planet Earth, and it's all your fault. It's all your fault that the planet is dying. And even the so-called healers and spiritual people and psychics, even they living on this planet, and they're sending healing energy to the Earth. We must heal planet Earth, so they're sending all the energy to heal the Earth. Now, I don't live on that planet. My planet is completely different. My planet is perfectly healthy. It's completely strong. It's independent. It's a living organism all by itself. It's Gaia. It's Mother Earth. And there's so much power in my planet Earth that if it wanted to, it could just shake us all off and start again. And it's abundant. There's abundant everything on my planet. There's plenty of water. There's plenty of oil, as long as we need it. There's plenty of oil, plenty of gas. There's plenty of oxygen. There's plenty of food. There is no scarcity on my planet Earth. See, we're living on a water planet. It's filled with water. You can look this up. You can look up primary water. It comes deep in the earth, continually created. It's the same with oil. There's plenty of oil. It's created deep down in the earth continuously. But we've been told a story that these things are scarce. And of course, what happens with scarcity? The prices go up, and we all get nervous and worried, and we think that we're the ones created all this mess. But of course, we didn't create this mess. We just followed the things that the big corporations told us to do. The pollution comes from them. In fact, you look at plastics. We used to never have throwaway plastics, but there was a big PR campaign to teach us to throw away plastics. Because when plastics came out in the beginning, everyone used to keep them. They were so amazed with these little plastic containers that everyone kept them and used them. And then the companies realised, oh goodness, we can't sell any more of these plastic things because everyone's keeping them. So then they had to teach us to throw them away and create new ones so they could keep selling us plastics. And then they give us the blame. They blame us for that. Well, that's not our fault, that's your fault. But even plastics, even all these things, terrible chemicals, poisons into the air, my planet Earth can handle all this. It will just digest it all, mix it all up, churn it all up, and convert it back into good energy. You see, my planet is powerful. There's a huge amount of force in the Earth, and it's healing us all. It's supporting us all. You see, the Earth is like a mother, and the cosmos, the universe, is like a father. And this really extends from the Taoist philosophy. Again, I'm very heavily influenced by Taoist philosophy, but it's still my own approach. I've thought about this for a long, long time, and I haven't only just thought about it, I have practiced this. I have trained my chi. And this is a big problem for most people and even most scientists. Even scientists that have got this alternative science and new ideas about the world, very few people have got any real experience of chi. It's one thing to think about it, it's another thing to experience it. Once you've experienced the chi of the earth and the chi of the heavens, you have a different idea about it. And this goes together with the science. Now I talk about Tesla's science because Tesla's science is so close to the Taoist philosophy. But really what I'm sharing here is my own ideas, and you could call it the Tao of Tesla. It's like a combination of Tesla's physics and Taoist philosophy. But the end result is that I live on a wonderfully powerful planet Earth. It's continually supportive, and I don't have to heal the Earth. The Earth is healing me. I've got to ground to the Earth, and the Earth will feed me. It will support me. You see, we've been taught to be fearful. You've been taught to be scared of everything, so scared that you just end up living in a little box and doing exactly what you're told. Because we're so scared of everything that we need some help. And they're also scared of germs and bacteria and all these different things attacking us at every angle. Everything in the world is out to get us. And the world is weak, the world is dying, the earth is dying, and it's all your fault, it's all our fault. So we better just be ever so careful, don't breathe too much, live in a corner and do what we're told, and maybe then we'll be alright. And how does that make you feel? You feel weak, you feel vulnerable, and the irony is you don't care about the world anymore. Because what's the point? The world is dying now. It's all our fault. It's such a terrible feeling, the feeling of guilt of that, the feeling of shame. Oh my God, we've ruined the planet, and what can we do? It's irreversible now. Oh dear, oh dear. And then you've got the threat of war. Oh yeah, we're going to blow it all up. Oh my goodness. So what's the point of even bothering to try? We might as well curl up in the corner and wait for it all to just happen. There's nothing much we can do now. So you feel hopeless, you feel weak, you feel small, and you're now at the mercy of the powers that be, the lords and masters that have been telling us all this story. And the new one, of course, now is that the weather is changing. Now it's all your fault, all the weather is changing. Well, we had this since day one. It was too cold, it's going to be too cold, and then it was going to be too hot, and then it was going to be too cold, and then it's going to be too hot, and now we can't decide whether it's going to be too hot or too cold, so we just say the weather is changing. So that means whatever happens, it's just your fault. Anything that goes wrong in the world is all your fault, and you guys are all to blame. And how does that make you feel? You feel terrible. You feel weak. You feel that it's your fault. You feel like you've lost your connection to the world. There's no connection to the world, because why would you want to connect to something that's sick and dying? My world is so powerful, it's so strong, it's so energetic. It's filled with chi, it's filled with energy, there's a life force everywhere. It's filled with magic and mystery and power. So your world is banal. It's 9 to 5 working in an office, just sitting in a box doing what you're told. Where's the magic gone? Where's the power? Where's the spirit gone? You see, you've got to go back to the shamanic ways, the ways of the wild people. They had a connection to the earth. They were one with nature. And it's the same with the universe, the laws of the universe. We are one with the universe, the cosmos, the sun and the stars. There's energy there too. And consciousness, the awareness, this thing that brings life, is in all these things. It's in the earth and it's in the heavens, and we are one with it. But you see, the world you live in, you've been taught that it's separate. In fact, the science you've been given, there is no mention of consciousness. There's no mention of the life force. It's all just mechanics. You're living in a materialistic world. You've got a materialistic idea about how the world works. Your science is all about engineering. It's about mechanics. See, my science is about experience. I experience my science. I'm not only telling you there is mathematics, there is engineering, but there's also experience in this science. It's holistic. And you see, even Nikola Tesla, towards the end of his days, he believed he was talking to beings in the electricity. He was communicating with extraterrestrials, all this sort of thing. Well, what was that all about? That's again why they thought he was as mad as a hatter. But to me, he was a shaman. He was connecting to the universe. Consciousness and the physical world were one and the same thing. He was experiencing his science, and everything happened in his mind. He could invent something in his brain. He'd invent a motor, and he could have it running in his mind for months and months to work out how long the motor would last. He was this clever, and then he'd do all this before he even drew anything down. So a lot of his science is not written down. It's all in his head, and that's why we've got to recreate a lot of his science. But Tesla is just really a metaphor. We can all do this. This is about connecting, experiencing science. You see, the Taoist philosophy was science, and it evolved from shamanism, and shamanism evolved from beings on the planet. We were living on the planet, and we had a connection to nature. We were one with nature. We weren't separated from nature. And that's why I want to invite you to come and live with me. Come and live back on my planet. It's a virtual paradise. Now, don't get me wrong, life is still hard. You're still going to have struggles. But the struggles I've got are much less than the struggles you've got, because you've got 100-fold struggles added onto your shoulders. And all of these struggles are just flat out lies. I mean, now we've got breathing too much carbon dioxide, too much carbon dioxide. Listen, you've got to look into this. You have to do some research. But we've got lower carbon dioxide than we actually need. We need a bit more. And going back in history, you've got to go a long way back. There's far more CO2 on this world than there is now, and everything was fine. You just get more plants growing. Again, all these are stories to keep you in your place. You've got to look through what you're being told. You've got to understand they're people telling you a story. They're teaching you that you're living on this terribly sad, lonely, dying planet. Yeah, and that was another one. You're lonely, you're alone on the planet. Well, now they're changing that, saying, oh, there we know we have got aliens coming. So maybe we're not alone. Ah, but they're a threat. They're a threat. We're going to have off-world threats coming for us now. Okay, so we've not got enough threats between us here, the threat of war down here. There's going to be a threat of intergalactic war. Oh my goodness me. So you're never going to be relaxed. You're never going to be contented. You're always going to be kept off balance. You're always afraid. You're always weak. And when you're afraid and weak, you're vulnerable. And when you're vulnerable, you are open to hypnosis. These guys get in and control your mind. Now, I don't live on their planet. I'm just laughing at these guys. And if an alien came down and listened to what we talk about, our attitude to the world, the science we talk about, they would laugh their little socks off. They'd laugh at us. You see, they're flying around on flying saucers with a different science. They're living in a different universe. It's the same universe, but they have a different understanding of it. And their understanding is closer to reality. Your understanding, or the understanding we've been given by the institutions, is less real. It is less close to reality. It's a flat out lie. It's a lie designed to make us feel weak, make us feel vulnerable, make us feel separated. Remember that time when we weren't allowed to breathe? We had to keep a distance from each other, a 6-foot distance. Again, this is the distance of our aura. So we make sure we don't get close enough to each other. Always stay at a distance of our aura, so that we can't increase our power. It can't increase our energy. We all feel lonely. And what happens when we feel lonely? We get desperate. We get desperate, and then they say to us, don't worry, we'll look after you. Come and take all these medicines, we'll help you out. Oh, don't worry, we'll give you a job. Here, you can look at a computer. Look into this fantasy screen. You don't need to go outside. Just look into this little screen. It's all here. And we'll tell you what to think. We'll tell you what to watch. And what do they tell you to watch? It's all war, fighting, suffering, battles, revenge. Then it's dysfunction. It's breaking up relationships. There's not happy families, unhappy families. It's chilled. It's all dysfunction that you've been told. What happens with that? Well, you just get very, very unhappy. You get very depressed. You get very lonely. You get very weak. No wonder mental health is a big issue now. It's a big issue because it's created with this nonsense, and it's hard. It may be hard for you to understand, but this is by design. It's not by accident. And we can beat this game. If you look at my previous video about the Jedi, we've got to become the Jedi. And I invite you to come live on my planet with the Force. I live with the Force. And my Force unites heaven and earth. It unites fire and water. It unites matter and consciousness. It's one and the same thing. Now, here in these images of the planet, just look at the beauty. Nature is everywhere. Even you go out into the city, look down at the ground, you see a little blade of grass growing in the concrete. That blade of grass is still the same nature. It's still got the same power. It's Mother Earth bursting through. Give 100 years, all these buildings will crumble and trees will grow over it. Nature will always come back. And we are part of this wonderful, powerful nature. And I invite you all to come and join me. Live in this more abundant planet. It's a planet of wondrous beauty and magic. And we are one with the earth, one with the cosmos. And these support us. And there is no life and death. Life and death, again, is a sort of experience that we have. But it's based on this materialistic concept. We're always afraid of death because we've got the idea of on and off, black and white, alive and dead. Listen, it's more everything. It's not that black and white. It's a continuum, a flow. We live in a fluid flux of ether, of chi, and we're all part and parcel of this, and this thing goes on and on and on. So I want to invite you to come and live with me. It's much better. Like I said, I still work hard, I still struggle, but all I need to do if I need help is tune into the earth, and I tune into the stars, and I get the energy and I get the support. And we can all do this right now. But you can't do that if you're afraid, if you believe the earth is dying. This is a story that you have been told to separate you from Mother Earth. It is separating you from your connection to the cosmos, by definition, and this is taking you away from your chi. They want your chi, they want your energy, they want your power. They want you to do what they say. And who are these people? These people are the Sith. These are extreme narcissists. Extremely wealthy, extremely powerful, and extremely ruthless corporations. These do not have our interests at heart. But we can beat them all if you come and live with me on my planet. We just need a few of you. And there's plenty of space. My planet is not that far away. I'm still here. It's the same place. You just got to cross over to my point of view. And I'll be talking about this. I'm starting some lectures soon explaining this science. And once you see this science and you realise there's a logic to this, this isn't just mumbo jumbo. There's a real simplistic logic that even a child could understand. And then you'll see what I'm talking about. There's plenty of space on my planet, plenty of food, plenty of water, plenty of air, plenty of nature. Everything you could possibly want is here. You've just been blindsided. It's just been taken away from you, and it's only a few steps for us to get it all back. It's only a few steps. So please do bear with me and watch through some of my videos, and in time I'll explain this better and better, and you'll understand what it is I'm talking about. So thank you so much for listening, and I look forward to seeing you next time.